Good afternoon, everyone. It's, game week. It's been a long time coming. Opening up this Saturday, September 4th against Army here at noon. What a great opponent. And, it's time to go play. I think today was our 20th practice of the preseason camp. And school started, so it's time to get playing. I think our football team is I think we're getting everyone back healthy. We had some bumps and bruises during the course of camp, but I believe everybody's right where they need to be. We're just excited with the anticipation of going out and playing a good first contest against a quality opponent in Army. So with that, I'll take questions and let's go.
Thanks, Coach. As Coach mentioned, at this time, we'll take questions from members of the media. If you would, unmute yourself, ask your question, and mute yourself again. We would appreciate it. Go ahead with questions.
Hey, Coach. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's good. Good. Glad to see you in great spirits. Obviously, it's game week. But obviously, when we talk about opening the season, Georgia State is phenomenal with opening with top opponents. Tennessee, Louisiana last year, and then Army this year. Of course, Sun Belt games matter, but how much does it mean to open up against out-of-conference opponents like Army and like everybody else that you have in the past seasons?
Well, I think, the number one thing is opening up with a quality opponent. You get to find out exactly where you are. I mean, both the programs do, but I like opening up against tough opponents. The anticipation, the focus in camps a little bit more tunnel vision like. But I just think it's a great opportunity to showcase our university and our football program against a very, very quality opponent, whether it be Army, the University of Tennessee, or whoever it may be. But they are good opponents, and we'll have our work cut out for us. But it's an exciting time for us.
Hey, I'll go. I'm not going to be shy. Coach Graham Knight from Behind the Lines. We cover the Academy football teams.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit about the game 2 years ago. Had a dramatic finish in Georgia State's favor. Talk to me a little bit about that game, and then tell me a little bit about how you think or what you have to do to prepare for the triple option team versus a traditional game.
Well, 2 years ago is just like it is now. It's highly anticipated bringing Army here to Georgia State Stadium, at that time now Center Parc Stadium, and we were very, very fortunate to come out on top. I don't think there was a punt in that game 2 years ago. I believe we fumbled inside the 5, and then after that we scored on every possession, and then they threw the interception late there in the fourth quarter, and we picked it off. Our cornerback Quavaris Jones picked it off to kind of solidify the victory right there. But it was a very hard fought game. Anytime you face a military academy, or you got to know what you're in store for. I mean, the players, they don't give up, they don't quit. They come after you, play after play after play. They've got that mentality that's driven into them to really persevere and push through adversity, and they sure did that evening. And it was a great contest. I remember it rained about 5 inches before the game, and it just made for a really good environment. And looking forward to this matchup is no different. People they tend to point out that we have a little bit more time to prepare for the triple option because it's the first game of the season. I don't care how long you got to prepare for it. I mean, it's one of those things that's very difficult to prepare for. And our coaching staff has to be on point. Our players have to be on point defensively. So I anticipate another really, really good football game. The great thing about this is, they bring in the top ranked defense from a year ago, ball control offense that can run the football and hit you with the play action pass. And I think they're really, really good on special teams. I think, people don't even point out these things, but they blocked 7 kicks a year ago on the PAT or field goal attempts. And so they're very, very well coached and got a lot of great respect for those guys. I mean, anytime you come in here and you play a team like Army, you certainly understand what they all go through while at the academy, and then the pile that's football on top of it. My hat's off to them, and I have all the respect for them.
Yeah, Coach, thank you. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Army comes into this game after the 28-21 victory Georgia State took last year. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Sorry, 2 years ago.
Yes.
Coach, you kind of talked about their ball control offense. What kind of pressure does it put on your offense to know the opportunities may be limited? If you give the ball back, they may not see it for a little while.
I don't think you have to dwell on that. I mean, we don't need any added pressure. I think we have to do exactly what we do offensively. We're going to try to tempo it just like we always do. I don't think there's any added pressure. We just understand we got to make smart decisions, and well executed plays have to be done. And we can't just, we can't give away opportunities. I think I said 2 years ago that we're going to have to steal a possession, whether it's, convert on some fourth downs or critical turnovers that we've got to gain, but we've got to steal some possessions in here to get that extra possession, to have the opportunity to kind of put a little bit of pressure back on them.
Coach, you mentioned Quavian and that interception. How have you seen him grow as a player? Have you seen him getting better since you've been there?
Oh, without a doubt. Here's a guy that comes in. I believe he started since he was a true freshman, and he was real green at that point in time, but we needed the production back in there. And we thought, giving him the chance to grow and develop over time would benefit our football program and our defense. And it certainly has. He has really, gone from a guy that was, and we all have mature growth during the course of our time here, but he really did. That first year was just kind of, oh yeah, I'm out here playing, and well, let's hope I don't make a mistake, to now he's at the forefront of creating great turnovers. He's very, very smart and savvy. He's got techniques that's really improved since 3 and 4 years ago. It's really exciting to see with Quay.
Coach, team chemistry and cohesion is very important to a team's success. And just in regards to last season where it was COVID, you didn't really have, the chance for both offense, defense, everybody to get as many reps before the season. How would you compare this preseason compared to last season, where now you have guys, of course, being able to prepare for this game more versus last season?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the preparation was really any different. I mean, we tried to create last preseason as if it was as normal as possible. There were some stoppages of play because we had to quarantine individuals a year ago, but it's been the same. Our team is together, and they're together in meetings, they're together in team meetings, and they're practicing and on the field. So we've got great camaraderie. I think our team, they all don't have to love one another. I think that's what a lot of people don't kind of understand. You don't have to go out there and love one another. You have to like one another, and sometimes there's a little bit of tension between some people as well, but that's all good. But we are one team, and we do have great camaraderie. We love being around players and coaches, and that says a lot about our program.
Coach, what have you seen from Quad Brown in the offseason that you really think can take him to that next level?
I think intelligence. When you grow as a football player, the first thing you have to do, you have to understand the game of football. At the quarterback position, that starts with a lot of growth from not just playing that position, but playing the offensive line position, playing the wide receivers and the backs. And he's got to really be a field manager in knowing what all those guys does, all those positions. There's a lot of moving parts. And let me see if I can get this off. Are you still there?
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving parts, and I think he's just understanding how it all fits. And the more he plays, the more he gets reps, the better educational and intelligence part will come around for him. But I think he's done a really, really marvelous job at this point, knowing about as much as you need to know. Sometimes you don't want the quarterbacks to know too much.
Yeah. So you just talked about the mental aspect in terms of like physical skill, whether it was working on reading certain coverages, different passing or different routes, I should say. Is there one particular on-field skill that you really, or that your staff, I should say, wanted to work on with him?
I don't think there was one thing that we pinpointed. I think, when Quad came in here, if you look at the physical structure of him, he was a tiny, skinny, tall, rangy. He's put on some muscle. You know, he walks around now. He actually can walk around the building sometimes with his shirt off, thinking he's got a little bit of that muscle up on him. He's had really good growth in the weight room. I think the strength is one of the things that I see. I think his ball, when it comes off his hand, is really it pops. People say, you know, I guess the term is he can really spin it this day and age, and he certainly can. Some throws I look and say, there's no throw out there that he can't make. And that's a tribute to the strength and also to the intelligence part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you got a couple of new guys on the two deep roster. Tell us a little bit about Trey Moore and Justin Abraham and what they did in camp to earn the starting jobs.
Trey Moore has played with tremendous effort from coming back to a back injury a year ago and playing in our bowl game. He practices with a mentality that I really do love. You have to slow him down. Sometimes I call him angry because it seems like it doesn't matter what type of tempo we're playing in practice. He's got an angry mentality where he wants to tackle, he wants the ball, he wants to hit. But I think he plays with great effort and great energy. He's electric to watch. And when I mean electric, he gets me fired up to watch him play. Those are things that I really, really enjoy when you watch a football game. Those guys I gravitate to. Justin Abraham, a big, strong, physical linebacker, got great length in his arms, and he's going to be able to man a middle. And probably at times we couldn't really knock people back there in the past. I think he has got a frame and the strength, even though he's still so young, that he can push people around in the middle. And that's a good thing when you got to go up against those bigger offensive line. And he brings the athleticism with him where he can run and cover the lateral field. So both those guys have done a really nice job in camp. I love their mentality. I love the way they practice. They practice with a mature, confident concept, and they go about their business very, very well.
How you doing, Coach? Good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
When you look at your team from, the way you guys finished off last season into the practices you've had so far leading up to week one, what's an area that you've seen that your team improve on that you're excited to see going to week one versus Army?
Well, it's basically the same team. On offense, you got all 11 starters back. On defense, you got 8 of 11 starters coming back. Our specialists are all the same. So there's, I think us as an entire football team, we've gotten better. I don't think one area has improved over another. I do like our linebacker unit, the inside group. I just think we're a little bit more physical than what we have been in that area. But all in all, our team has improved pretty steady from an overall standpoint, not just one in particular position. And that's, that comes from a lot of people coming back and having a lot of experience.
Another question I wanted to ask you is that you guys did play Army back in 2019, and that was seen as still one of the biggest wins back in that season and in the program. How excited are you to have like a full house? Because I think that game was like a downpour, so not many people showed up. How excited is that you're gonna have a full house, for this home opener and have a lot of fans cheering you guys on for the first time in actually about 2 years, it seems?
Yeah, I'm thrilled to death to have fans in the stands. I'm a pretty energetic guy. For whatever reason, I fuel off the crowd, the noise. I think it's a great, anytime you can play in front of a crowd, it's just something different. I mean, there's something about it. I don't care who else is out there, but it's nothing like playing against in front of a packed house. The energy, the emotion, the enthusiasm, it can change the game in a heartbeat. And those that say it can't are they're foolish to think that you can go out there on a Saturday afternoon and have no fans in the stands and think it doesn't make a difference. It does. I just can't wait to see them. I hope they come early and I hope they stay late. And I hope we have something really, really great to celebrate afterwards.
It's Marcel Petito, Sports Inquirer. Thanks for joining us, Coach. 2 things. One, ESPN Game Day was at Georgia State in Atlanta last week. Were you able to do anything with the crew there? And also this game being on ESPNU, how big are these opportunities for exposing the program and making Georgia State, a national brand?
Yeah, game day was here, but certainly they weren't here for us. They were here for another reason. We had a little segment there on the pregame to game day. I myself didn't have any interaction with those guys. But anytime you have your stadium, your name, Georgia State University, when it's put out there on ESPN or one of the ESPN networks, it's a really big deal. A lot of people tune in on that. I got a lot of comments, a lot of texts, asking about, hey, they're at your stadium. I was speaking with someone yesterday, and they made the statement. They said, on Saturday that 11 years ago we played our first ball game ever at Georgia State, and then game day here is 11 years later, hosting it right here at Center Parc Stadium, home of Georgia State football. So that says something in itself about what it means, and to see the growth and just the opportunities that have been provided for us in our football program in our university is awesome. We can't wait to play on ESPNU Saturday. I think a lot of people tune in and watch us. A year ago, we had a lot of opportunities. I think anytime you can get on television and you can play well, promote your university, there's a lot of people that take notice, and that's been done the last few years. A lot of people have taken notice of Georgia State football.
Coach, I wanted to ask about the running back group. There's 4 guys listed on the depth chart, and it's kind of a complementary mix of, you've got some speed, you've got some more boom. So it seems like there's ability to mix and match there. What are you looking for from that group in 2021?
The ability to mix and match. I mean, just like you said, you got to have some speed with some power. You got to have vice versa. It all depends on really how the game is flowing, about what we really need and what we really want to see, and how we're attacking. Are we attacking on the perimeter? Are we attacking inside? Just what we're doing. We feel very, very confident about that position. I think we've got really, really good running backs. I think we're a solid group. They're well coached, and they all have a different talent that they bring to the table. So it's going to be an exciting group to see. It's a very unselfish group, because everybody would love to stand back there and get the 30 carries and do all this. One guy may get 5 catches and 7 carries. One guy may get 12 carries and 2 catches. I don't know, but we have a good group. All those guys right there, they're in really, really good shape. They're powerful guys, and some got some really speed, and I'm going to try to utilize all of them as best we can.
Hey, Coach, Graham Knight again from Behind the Lines. Quick question. I want to build on something that Julian asked you. I'm kind of curious, what is the biggest difference between this year and last year? Is it fans in the stands? Is there something else that stands out? And then I've got one other quick follow-up after that.
Well, there's really not a difference, to tell you the truth. We tried to go about last year as normal as possible. Other than the testing, it wasn't something that we brought up every single day and, just made a big deal about it. I think at one point a year ago, I said, hey, this is the last time I'm going to bring it up. Yes, we're going to test. Yes, we're going to social distance. Yes, we're going to do that. But other than that, it's a football season, and we're going to do it as best as we can and as normal as we can. And that's been our approach this year as well.
Gotcha. And just a quick follow-up question about leadership. Kind of curious, how big a deal is it for you as a head coach to develop leadership out of your team? And then how do you do that? How do you use your captains? And what are you trying to instill in them and your team in terms of leadership?
Well, I think you go out and you recruit leaders. I think during the recruiting aspect of it, you got to find individuals that have been captains on their football team, that have done things right in the weight room, that are solid in the classroom. You need to go out and recruit leaders, just like you need the 4-4 tailback. You've got to do that. And we've made a point of going through our roster and really pinpointing guys that have been captains on their high school teams, guys that have won at a high level on their teams. And I think, if I have to go around here all the time and try to build leadership, then I'm spinning my wheels. Let's go recruit leadership and let me go teach them how to play the game of football. Our leaders, we do have some great leaders. This is going to be the first year that we have 6 captains. We have normal in the past that we had 4 captains. We have a couple super seniors coming back, and I thought it would be really good if we added 2 more captains this year. We voted on our captains this morning, and we came away with 6 really, really good ones. When you ask about those guys and what's their responsibilities, is to do exactly what they've been doing. And whether it be in the classroom, on the field, on the practice, in meetings, whatever it may be. They're doing things the right way. And I think when you do things the right way, you get noticed, and that's how you ultimately become that leader. People put you in that position, not because you've been training for it and all that stuff. They see it, they respect you, and therefore you gravitate towards that position.
Gotcha. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, what, of course, last question, at least on my end. You had Dan Ellington, who obviously works with the quarterbacks. He played under you as well.
Dan doesn't work with the quarterbacks.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Dan doesn't work with the quarterbacks.
Well, I'm sorry. I said quarterbacks. I mean offense in different parts of the team. But I know he has a relationship with Cornelius Quad Brown because he played, obviously they played on the same team when he was a starter. And also he has a relationship as well with him. How would you describe just that relationship with him and Quad?
I mean, it's a normal relationship. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary. They don't spend a lot of time together. Coach Glenn coaches our quarterbacks. He likes it done his way, and Coach Ellington coaches our running backs. But I think they were teammates, so they certainly have a little bit different relationship than what a normal coach and player would have. They share some insights, I'm sure, at times, but there's nothing really, really unusual about their relationship.
How you doing, Coach? Second
Good.
question from me. I remember when I interviewed you guys before you played Tennessee. I remember how confident you guys were, and how excited you guys were about playing in Tennessee. And looking at the schedule, is it that same kind of excitement coming from your guys? Even though when people look at the schedule, they're saying, "Oh, that's a gauntlet for the Panthers." Are you guys just excited to see how you guys match up against top tier programs and kind of spread and try to make GSU more of a national brand?
Well, excitement's one word. Everybody's excited to go play a Tennessee or a North Carolina or Auburn or Army. It doesn't matter if you're a good or bad football team, your excitement. What we had back when we played Tennessee, what we had a year ago, what we have this year is we have a confident football team. So we have confidence. Yes, we are. We're thrilled to death about our first game, but we're a confident bunch, not cocky. We've got experience, and that's the difference in teams. We have confidence. We know we've done it before. We feel like we're capable of doing it again. So that's where we are as a football team. We're a confident group.
Got time for about one or two more questions from Coach, and then we'll bring in some players.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you specifically about the depth on the defensive side of things. I was looking back at the 2019 participation chart there. I think 22 or 23 defensive players played in that. Just wanted to get your thoughts on obviously your tremendous depth, especially on the front seven facing Army.
Yeah, I look out there at times, and we try to run racks of plays, ones versus ones, twos versus twos, threes versus threes, and whatnot. And a lot of times I do that really so we really don't have to condition. We have so much depth there. I think with our front seven that I'll go out there, our ones on offense will be out there, and I'll look out there and I'll be our second or third team guys out there running defensively. And that's because they all can. It's such a talented, deep group. They can all go out there and play at a great level. Sometimes I worry about that because they're not getting as many reps. And when I look at the conditioning aspect of it, especially with our tempoed offense, I want those guys to stay out there and get reps and reps and reps. But it's real satisfying to know that you can you got 3 D linemen in there. You rotate 3 more. You can rotate 3 more after that. And also in other areas as well. I think we've got tremendous depth. I think it's a tribute to our coaches and their recruiting. It's a tribute to our players and just how well they go out and compete. And they know if they compete at a high level, especially defense, you run that football and you play with that angry mentality, that you can get on that field and you can participate.
Good time for one more for Coach, if anybody's got one.
John Harper LaBelle here. Interested to get your impression with the super seniors and having the depth and everybody coming back the way that they are Army really doesn't have that. All of their graduates now are second or first lieutenants. What do you see in terms of the depth gap there from an experience level? Will there be anything that you think comes into play on Saturday?
Well, you would like to think so. I think experience does play a key role in any contest. If you look at Army defensively, they do have a lot of returning starters, so they're experienced. They're experienced. I think they're going to be starting 4 or 5 new starting offensive linemen. So you hope that's an advantage, but you never really can tell until it all shakes out on Saturday. But if you look at things in the past, I think every coach in the country loves experience, and we certainly do have that. And there's some areas they have that as well. Like I said, they're returning a great defense over there, but they do have some holes to fill there offensively.